history of the Roman Empire is probably unsurpassed in its wealth and prosperity. Many scholars consider it the perfect empire, with a stable economy, a strong government and of course, a well-developed army, the first professional military force. Rome offers us the image of great generals, of which we review the following 7 most brilliant and capable. Don't forget to subscribe, so let's get started. 7. Flavius Aetius. Flavius Aetius lived between 396 and 454 AD, a period when the western part of the empire was in chaos and faced with threats from all sides, and in which several military commanders related to the rise of Hun power perished under the auspices of Attila. Flavius Aetius is held hostage at the court of the Gothic king Alaric I, and then serves under the scepter of the Hun chieftain Rugila. The proximity of the barbarian clans is of great use to him in the following years, when he asserts himself as a Roman soldier. In 427 he undertook a campaign in Gallia, where he defeated the Visigothic king Theodoric I and captured the city of Arelate before pushing back the Visigoths and emerging victorious again at Mons Colubrius against King Aemillius. The campaign continued until 431, adding victories against the Franks to his record. In 451 Flavius won the battle that brought him fame to this day. Attila, thirsty for conquests, attacks Gallia while Aetius is still stationed there. The two negotiate, but Attila still takes the initiative of the invasion, which causes the Roman general to conclude a partnership with Theodoric to face the Hun. The result is the battle on the Catalan plains, where sources say that Attila had gathered 300,000 men. Both sides suffer tremendous losses, but Aetius wins, earning him the label of the last true Roman. 6. Marcus Vispanius Agripa. Living between 63 and 12 BC, Agrippa experienced times marked by great generals such as Iulius Caesar and Pompeius, serving one of the greatest and most respected leaders, namely Augustus. Agrippa is one of his close friends and gains power together with Caesar's nephew. He is charged with the government of Gaul in 3938, praised throughout Rome for suppressing a Gallic revolt and for refusing to accept the triumph. Octavian seizes the reins of empire when Agrippa wins his most important battle, the naval confrontation at Actium in 31 BC. He participated in minor campaigns in 34, 33, before initiating large-scale projects for the beautification of Rome, such as the renovation of the Aqua Marcia aqueduct and the cleaning of the sewage system. Augustus says at one point that he found a city of brick and left a city of marble. In later years, Agrippa makes maps, makes statistics about the citizens, helps to strengthen the government system and imposes his own ideas for its maintenance. 5. Lucius Aemillius Paullus Macedonicus. Lucius 229 to 160 BC, consul twice, is the man responsible for the fall of the great Macedonian kingdom. Since the death of Alexander Macedon, the kingdom is divided and tormented by civil wars. The tensions between Macedonia and Rome increase after the previous conflicts with Philip V. So, in 171, in the Third Macedonian War, the two powers clash after King Perseus defeats a Roman army at Clisinus. Later in the same year, Lucius dealt the final blow to Macedonia at Pydna, a battle that demonstrated the superiority of the Roman legion over the phalanx. Lucius orders the execution of 500 soldiers and plunders the kingdom. Authorizes raids in 70 cities in Epirus. His return is celebrated with a great triumph, during which he receives from the Senate the title of Macedonicus. 4. Constantin the Great. We remember him best as the first emperor who integrated the Christian ideology into the imperial one. In the Christian mind works the image of him receiving the cross, the sign under which he will win. He relocates the capital to Constantinople, a city modeled after Rome, in a prime strategic point, an extremely important commercial hub. He is considered the founder of the Eastern Roman Empire, which will last another 1,000 years, unlike the Western one. He stabilizes his power by defeating Maxentius and Licinius. During his reign, he led campaigns against the Franks, Sarmatians, Germans, and Visigoths, becoming one of the most talented commanders in the Eastern Empire, offering a model for his successors to follow. 3. Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus. He lived between 106 and 48 BC, having to deal with many struggles in his life. In 83, Lucius Cornelius Sulla returns to Rome from successful campaigns against Mithridates, king of Pontus, entering a civil war for control of Italy. With the help of Pompey and his maneuvers using 3 legions, Sulla gains preeminence in Rome and becomes dictator for life. Pompey's performance continues with successful campaigns in Sicily and Africa, in 82–81. He defeats the king of Numidia, Hiarbas, being proclaimed emperor by the soldiers and receiving the title of Magnus from Sulla. In Hispania, he fights between 76 and 71 against King Sertorius, after which he returns to Rome to capture 5,000 gladiator rebels from Spartacus' revolt, angering Crassus who wanted to suppress the revolt. In 71 he was granted another triumph, and in 70 he was elected consul with Crassus. By eradicating pirates from the Mediterranean Sea, its popularity increases. He takes part in the First Triumvirate in 61. In the 50s he leads even greater campaigns in Pontus and Judea, but there are disturbances in the government system after the death of Crassus in the Battle of Carrhae. The civil war between Caesar and Pompey ends with the victory of the former at Pharsalus, due to the superior tactics and veterans of the numerous Pompeian army. Fleeing to Egypt, Pompey is killed on the orders of Ptolemy XIII. 2. Publius Cornelius Scipio Africanus. Scipio lived between 236 and 186 BC, being regarded as one of the greatest generals in history. Joining the Roman army early, he vows to fight to the last breath against Hannibal Barca. He survives at Ticinus, Trebii or Cannae, some sources saying that he would have saved his father's life. He stands out for his fiery spirit, once storming into a conference of commanders advancing the idea of retreat. But in 211 both his father and uncle were killed in battle by Hasdrubal, Hannibal's brother, Scipio occupying the position of first general. During the following years, Scipio occupies New Carthage and Hispania, which he transforms into the base of his operations. He earns considerable respect by his merciful behavior towards the prisoners. He fights at Becula against Hasdrubal, whom he flanks with the cavalry, but his victory is criticized because of the decision not to pursue the retreating army. In 205 BC he receives the title of consul and 3 years later makes history and legend in Zama. On October 19, 202 Hannibal ordered the elephants to create breaches in the Roman line, but Scipio arranged his men in columns with corridors between them, surrounding the enemy brought into confusion by the sounding of trumpets. Scipio's cavalry resolutely chases away the Numidian elite, and the Roman infantry is organized to face the numerical superiority of the Carthaginians, which is what happens. Some historians call Zama a Roman Cannae. Scipio does not plunder Carthage, but imposes moderate taxes, receives the title of Africanus and is even offered the title of dictator, which he refuses. He has the merit of not registering any defeat in his entire military career. 1. Iulius Caesar. Politician, writer, commander, legend. Born around 100 BC, he enlists in 85 and has big problems due to Sulla's purge policy. He returns to Rome after the death of Sulla in 82 BC, gaining in popularity by organizing gladiatorial games. He leads successful campaigns in Spain in 69, reaches the position of Pontifex Maximus and consul in 59. Forms the first triumvirate with Crassus and Pompey. The conquest of Gaul begins in 58, continuing until 51. He has to face a remarkable enemy, Vercingetorix, who understands that the only way to face the Romans is not to face them in the open, therefore using guerrilla warfare or by the scorched earth technique. In 55 Caesar orders his men to build a bridge to cross the Rhine to face the Germanic tribes. Then in 52 comes perhaps the most important confrontation, the siege of Alesia, in which Caesar uses brilliant tactics, including surrounding the city with walls, to prevent help from outside. In a few weeks, the locals are starved and even the tribes called by Vercingetorix do not stop the Roman army. After the victory, there follows the conflict with Pompey, the killing of Ptolemy XIII and the marriage with Cleopatra. The dictator elected for life has big plans, which include the conquest of Parthia, which he does not implement because he is assassinated, but it is certain that he practically opens a new chapter in the history of the Romans, that of the empire.